One bullet, one dead. Every sniper knows this phrase perfectly because it's not only their motto, but also their lifestyle. Carlos Hathcock, also known as White Feather, lived up to these words. Hathcock was an eminent American sniper and a legend of the Vietnam War. But this prolific soldier is not only recognized for his record of casualties, thanks to his shooting and camouflage skills, but he is also considered a hero for having risked his life in order to save his comrades in combat. He was as much admired by his army as he was feared and sought after by his enemies. Do you want to know more about the incredible feats of one of the most important snipers in war history? How did he become so fearsome to his adversaries? Sit back and get ready to learn everything about the life of deadly sniper Carlos Hathcock. Are you ready? Then prepare to travel back in time. The Vietnam War was one of the most brutal conflicts of the 20th century, in which the Asian country defeated the United States. In such chaos, America had a hero named Carlos Hathcock. This sniper was born on May 20th, 1942 in Little Rock, Arkansas. As a child, he became passionate for what would end up being his profession. On his trips to Mississippi, where he went to visit relatives, he had an assigned task. Because he belonged to a family immersed in poverty, in his afternoons in the southern state, he would set out into the woods to hunt. Let's not forget that, at the time, Hathcock was just a child. And while hunting animals with an old Mauser 98, he fantasized about bloody confrontations with Japanese soldiers. But when did he begin to fulfill his dream of being a prestigious sniper? On May 20th, 1959, the day he turned 17, Carlos enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. In his early years, the young Marine began to demonstrate his prowess and to prove that his talent was real. In 1965, he won first place in the Wimbledon Cup, the most important shooting championship in North America. A year later, Hathcock received a call that would change his life completely. The young sniper had to go to Vietnam. He had been summoned by the military police in the 1st Marine Division. A curious but significant fact in his career is that on his head, he wore a hat with a small white feather as a form of provocation towards his enemies, since he was known as an expert in camouflage. In fact, this detail motivated his famous nickname. His opponents dubbed him White Feather. The skilled sniper was tirelessly sought after by his enemies, and the Vietnamese authorities knew that it was of the utmost urgency to stop him. This is why they decided to put a price on his life. The importance of killing this dangerous sniper was such that instead of paying between $800 and $200 for his head, as they used to do, they would pay $30,000 to whoever got to him. The U.S. Army, aware of this, drew up a plan that consisted of sending dozens of brave Marines to the battlefield wearing a hat with a white feather, identical to the one our protagonist used to wear, and thus confusing the Vietnamese soldiers. Do you want to know what was the only mission in which Carlos Hathcock took off his feather to shoot? After several months in Asia, he was recruited by Captain Land for a new sniper unit program to begin a high-risk mission. Some even said that it was a suicide operation. He had to infiltrate a Vietnamese army camp, enter the jungle crossing any security line, and finish off an enemy general. The sniper's response was blunt. "Sir, I'll go. I won't be able to live with myself if someone else has to go in my place." Thus, despite knowing that he was risking his life, with honor and courage, he focused on his objective and carefully studied the maps of the battle zone and investigated his victim with dedication. He spent 4 long days in the middle of the Vietnamese prairies, camouflaged among the grasslands, and without being able to move so as not to arouse the attention of enemy soldiers, he was close to certain death when a snake almost bit him. But he managed to survive and went after his target. The wait was long until the Vietnamese general left his camp. Mercilessly, Hathcock fired at his chest with his Winchester Model 70 telescopic sight to immediately render him lifeless. He then had to flee quickly to avoid being discovered, something he regretted for years, since many American soldiers lost their lives in the battle that was unleashed as a result of his shot. It was in this war that Whitefeather set his wonderful record. He managed to count 93 casualties throughout his career. Some say it was more than 300, but a death is only attributed to a sniper if a third party witnesses it and confirms that the victim is indeed dead. Being an extremely dangerous war, they couldn't do it every time, so only a small percentage could be accounted for. In an interview, the experienced soldier stated, "I like to shoot and I love to hunt, but I never enjoyed killing anyone. It's my job. If I don't do it, then those bastards will kill a lot of kids dressed as Marines. That's how I see it." However, Hathcock's career did not end as it deserved. In 1969, he returned to the United States, but his was no longer the same. He deeply missed military life. This is why he returned to Vietnam in charge of a sniper platoon. That same year, an LVT-5 amphibious vehicle transporting Hathcock with his troops ran over an anti-tank mine. And it was when he could have escaped alive that he demonstrated his dedication to service and saved 7 Marines, which caused him severe burns. This action earned him the Purple Heart and the Silver Star, decorations from the United States Army for soldiers who show courage and unconditionality by risking their lives to protect a comrade. After a rough recovery, Hathcock founded the Marine Corps Sniper School in Quantico, Virginia, and years later devoted himself to training police departments and military units. On February 22, 1999, Whitefeather, the American sniper legend, passed away after fighting a cruel multiple sclerosis. This was the story of Carlos Hathcock, a man who gave his life for his profession and who left an indelible mark on war history. Now, we want to ask you, are there still Marines with Hathcock's commitment and talent, and with the courage to risk their lives for their comrades? Leave us your opinion below, and don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications to learn about many more military events that left their mark on history. This was all in a new episode of Military History. Thank you for joining us, and until the next video.